I'm Dave Humphreys for Volkswagen Das Blog, and today we're at Tipperary Speedway. John McHugh from Tipperary Speedway. John, just give us a bit of a kind of background and history to the place that we have here.
Well, it was built in 1981. When I came down here from the north, we started racing on grass, and then my dream was to have a track like they have in the north. So the company I was working for, and I got them talked into put up the money, and we done the work, and we built it in 1981. And actually, it's deemed to be the fastest quarter mile in Europe.
Okay.
So we're delighted with that, So
yeah. And have you had racing here non-stop, or has there been breaks, or has it always been?
There has been breaks. We ran it for kind of 8 years or something. Then we sold the track, and then the different promoters ran it for a number of years, and then this year the guy who owns it now just wanted the club to take it back again, to sort of try and build it back up again. So that's what we're trying to do, and we have reduced the prices for entry and all that to try and get more drivers onto the track, and we have done that.
In terms of that, just for people that don't necessarily know or have seen Speedway before, just give us a bit of a kind of background as to how it would compare to other kind of forms of motorsport.
Well, it's probably one of the as you can see, it's very, very close racing, and most of the classes are non-contact. We start off at juniors; they're from 10 to 16 years of age, and then they progress onto different classes up along the line. So that's where they basically start, and that's where they get it from. I always said, we teach them. The driving instructor teaches them how to get their licenses, but we teach them how to drive. So that's where they come up along the line.
And I suppose as an entry point for people to get into motorsport, financially, obviously motorsport is renowned for being a very expensive sport to get into. Is Speedway a more economical form for people to get into if they want to get into motorsport?
Well, see that's the great thing about it, because we have so many different classes. We have a new class now called a Premier Rod, and that's a total box standard 1600 class. So you can get one for nothing basically, and strip it out, put a roll cage in it and a harness, and you're racing, So, and then up along, but it's not expensive, except when you go up to the stock rods and the national hot rods, which are probably 30,000 sterling to buy a national hot rod and then run it. These are expensive. Yeah. But as Michael O'Carroll said from RTE one time when he went down, he couldn't believe how close the racing was at that speed, and no contact, So
I suppose the thing, the nature of Speedway as well, it's much more about driver skill and kind of being slick rather than necessarily just having the fastest car. It's more about driver and setup.
No, definitely setup and driving skill. That wall, it frightens an awful lot of people. We had a lot of rally drivers came here and they were absolutely useless, and and I mean that, good rally drivers, and couldn't handle the track at all. It's a different type of sport, So the wall frightens a lot of them,
Well, I've had experience of the wall, not near enough, and I have to say, it's certainly those guys out there. They deserve the respect that they get. Cheers. Thanks very much. All right, so we've got two more junior drivers here. So you are
Ian Reardon.
And how old are you?
13.
And you are?
Katrina Kiley.
And how old are you?
11.
It's rude to ask a lady your age, but you're 11. Okay. So, what are you going to be driving today?
Bone Micra.
You're in the Micra. And are you in the Micra as well? Are you?
Yeah, Boxy.
Okay. And just in terms of, you're the first girl I've seen here today. Are there many girls in your class, or is it just you?
My sister races as well.
And are you both in the same class? Is it? So is there a bit of stick between the two of you as to who gets a bit of nudging in the corners? Or?
Yeah.
And what got you guys into racing? Was it family, or was it friends, or?
My dad raced it, and my mum raced it.
And your mum as well. So you kind of had to. You and your sister didn't really have a choice, really, there.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to, because Tomos, our brother, started racing as well.
Okay. And so obviously when most of your probably friends in school are just kind of kicking football around at the weekends, and what's it like for you guys then? You're going back in on Monday morning saying you're racing cars around all weekend. What do your sort of friends think of it?
When you say it to them, they don't really know what it is. You kind of have to explain it all to them, and then they kind of surprised that you're so young racing.
Yeah.
So it's weird, like, but it's the most thing I do, like, so.
Yeah. And do you kind of get, from the girls in school, do they give you a bit of a hard time over it, or what do they think of you racing?
They just think it's cool because, like, we were only in primary school that I can drive already, so.
Yeah. So when did, obviously you guys are racing now, what age did you guys learn to drive at?
I think it was 2 years ago we started driving.
Yeah. And same with you?
I started driving when I was around 9.
About 9. So as soon as you could touch the pedals, really, was it?
Yeah.
And so have you guys got much of a kind of strategy for today in terms of racing, or?
I just say drive it like you stole it.
Yeah, that's what my dad says as well the whole time.
There you go. That's a pretty good strategy, really. So I think we'll see how these guys get on today and report back later on. Okay, so here with Anthony Crosby, who's racing this Volkswagen Corrado. So tell us a little bit, how long have you had this car exactly?
I've had the car about 4 years as a space frame, but it's taken me about 2 years to get it up to running and racing. Engine wise, shocks and all the parts and pieces that go with it.
Yeah. And so far, has it been good to you so far in racing? Yeah,
I had a few teething troubles at the start, but we have them ironed out now, more or less. So we've got 2 wins out of it so far.
That's a pretty good start so far, yeah.
1 win is good. Good result.
2 is always better.
Yeah.
And are you the only Volkswagen out there in the field?
The only Volkswagen, yeah.
Okay, so that makes a nice bit of a difference.
Yeah, I think there's 1 running in England as well. There was a couple in England, but there's only 1 in England, I think, running now, and this one over here.
So in terms of motorsport, everyone always focuses on budgets and costs and things like that. Is it, without going into too much detail, is it a relatively economical form of motorsport to get into? If somebody is looking to try it out for the first time?
It is, yeah, because there was a phrase used in the National Hot Rod Forum a couple of years ago that what happened to all the vans and trailers that used to bring the cars to the racetrack. I'm still a van and trailer.
Yeah.
And small garage at home. I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah.
I've learned my own stuff from working on the car over the years, and I do it on a very extremely tight budget.
Yeah. So
and tours, nearly everything I get is second hand.
Yeah. And you do all your engine work, all your servicing yourself, or?
I do everything myself, but as regards getting the engine built, Tom Casey built the engine for me.
Okay. And that's been good. Like, so over the course of the season, would you be doing much in terms of, in between races? Do you need to do servicing, or is it pretty, over the course of a season, other than your consumables like tyres and stuff, it's pretty straightforward for you?
No, it's straightforward. You're looking at brake pads, changing the oil. It's the blood of the engine.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Change. Once you've no teething troubles, you're looking at tyres, brakes, and oil, petrol.
And
that's it.
Off you go.
Once it's square on the trailer, going home.
That's the most important thing.
There's a wheel on each corner.
It's always a good way to end the day. Well, look, thanks very much. We look forward to seeing you later on today.
Okay,
all right,
thanks
best of
very
luck.
much.
Thanks. Like all motorsport, it is dangerous. So far today, we've seen several cars on their roof. The good thing is, though, everybody got out of their car in one piece, which is the most important thing.
Dave, what's going on?
So, all of a sudden I've just been told I've got to get into this and drive in this race, so give it a go.
Best of luck.
She handles very well, that group, you're okay. That'll definitely fit you anyway.
And a 3 minute warning. I started last and finished third, so not bad for a first time. I think I might have to come back and try it again, I think.